What up, people? Happy Wednesday. Kamari Ellis here. But you already know who I am. I'm the Finance Rebel. I am here every Wednesday to answer all your money questions. Taxes, stocks, business, investments, insurance. All money questions are accepted. All money questions will be answered. If you have a question, go ahead and throw it in the box. Throw it in the comments. Throw it in the chat. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter, not Twitter. Does anybody even broadcast on Twitter anymore? But YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. All right. And so as some folks start to trickle in, start to come on in, I wanted to talk about something that's been on my heart a little bit. Let me get comfortable here for a second. So I get questions. Like, y'all know I get a lot of questions. I get a lot of questions from time to time. And so, excuse the chimes or the notifications rather. But I get questions a lot, right? And so I've been getting questions about like paying for stuff, like going into stuff like courses and just various ventures, various investments. And everybody is kind of on a hunt for that bag or on the road to the riches, right? They're trying to figure out how to get to the money with the least amount of work as possible, as fast as possible. But I think there's something missing, right? I think there's something a lot of folks aren't getting, they're not grasping. There are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. And again, a lot of people want to take, I can't remember the Matrix scene, but the red pill. It's either the blue or the red pill. Basically, one pill was the work and the other pill was the fantasy. And I think a lot of us are living in the fantasy. And, a lot of times we get sold these bill of goods with these folks who are out here promising these big returns, these low risk scenarios and high reward, but they never talk about the high risk. They never talk about the actual work that it will take. They never talk about the whole spectrum. And then all the while, right, all their posts are about, having the Lambos and the private jets and, selling this lifestyle. And listen, the lifestyle is cool. But then it always baffles my mind because they say, we're here for the people and we're looking to do this, but yet we're looking to sell a people a $10,000 course, a $5,000 course, a $2,000 course. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I want y'all to be clear. I don't have a problem with people putting their price on the market, right? Putting their product on the market, putting their service on the market for whatever price they want to, for whatever price they feel is fair. But the question I'm always left with is they are always leading with, I want to do it for the people, right? And again, I get these questions. So that's what's sparking this. And so they say they want to do it for the people, but the average American can't afford a $400 emergency, but you're doing it for the people. The average American hasn't got a raise in quite some time, but you're doing it for the people and you're charging us an exorbitant amount of money. But what I feel gets missed oftentimes by the people who are buying these courses, because I see people do it all the time. I see people raid their 401k plans. I see people borrow money from family and friends. I see people go into strained financial arrangements, situationships, just to buy this thing that promised them this luxurious lifestyle. And, selling is a function of emotions. And so a lot of times people will talk about some of the things that they can get, right? They'll sell the emotion of it. They're pulling on the heartstrings. By the way, nobody buys based on emotions, or based on logic. For example, you go through the checkout counter when you're at the market and you see, hey, there's a candy bar right there. My sugar tooth is itching. I'm going to satisfy that sugar tooth by itching it with this candy bar at the counter. They all know that. The owners of the supermarkets and the retail places and stores and business know that. So they set you up for that. Just like the people that are selling this lifestyle know that we are all kind of programmed to want everything that everybody else has got. They call it following the Joneses, right? So if you see the guy with the Lambo or the pink Cadillac or the fur coat or the private jet or the pretty lady or the handsome man on your arm, that's what we all are aspiring to do. And if you spend your money on this course for $19.99, you too can have it also. But where's the problem with that? The problem is that once you spend your $19.99, $1,999 or $2,999 or $4,999, right? You're left with some booklet on the shelf or a set of CDs or a set of DVDs, and it never worked. Sometimes it didn't work because you didn't put the work in. There's a stat out there that says that most people that buy courses don't even look at them. Only 10% of the people that buy courses actually go through them. And like only 1% of the people actually apply what they learned. But the question is that your fault or is it their fault? I say split the difference. We go in the middle. So to me, we need people that have more financial education so they can stop feeling like they got took advantage of when they said you too can have this lavish lifestyle with private jets and luxurious clothes and exotic cars that can drive you all around the world by yourself, right? You need to understand that there are a lot of complaints and lawsuits for a lot of these folks. There's a lot of complaints for people that actually brought the product because they felt it did not deliver on the promise of what they espoused. But here's the thing. And so when I think about all this, I think about vision. And I feel like people want to shortchange or shortcut the vision. That's the problem with all this. They want to shortcut the vision. They want to take the shortcut. They're not really interested in the journey. They just want to hurry up and get to it quick. They don't want to work, let alone work hard. Again, they just want to get to it and get to it quick. And then so you make yourself pray for these people who are selling this lifestyle to come on to you and say, hey, you can buy this course and your life overnight with no sacrifice, no money down, no late nights, early mornings, nothing. It will change instantaneously. You'll take this pill and it will change. But those of us who've been around know that that's not the thing. You want to know the difference between people that buy those courses and a person like, I don't know, Warren Buffett or Jay-Z or a Puffy, and I'm just naming names, right? We're not going to talk about the quality of whatever it is. We're just naming names of people who are recognized and distinguished for what they do. They all have vision. They all had an idea of where they wanted to go. Not only did they have vision and an idea of where they wanted to go, they worked for it. Now, again, we're not going to talk about the ethics or the integrity of it all, but we know they worked. We know they sacrificed. We know they had deferred gratification. Oftentimes, when you see these infomercials, when you see these glamorous posts out here with these cars, they're promoting the microwave mentality. They're promoting the instant gratification mentality. And sadly, many of us in our angst and our frustration and our pain, right? Because I do want to acknowledge that we fall for it. And then we say, dag, I had $1,000 in my savings account and I spent that last $1,000 on this course. And the hopes and wishes and dreams that this course would miraculously make me rich. I can be one of the rich and famous. What's that show? Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. I could join that club right away. Because, in Americanized society, we glamorize the rich. We glamorize the celebrity. We basically idolize celebrity. Kind of makes me sick. Some might say I'm hating on it, but it's cool. It's cool. I'll take it. I'll take it. We get promoted with these ideas and these advertisements that, hey, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever, but he didn't do any work. Or Kobe or LeBron, because I'm not trying to get caught in that trap, are the greatest basketball players of the year, of the era, ever. But they didn't do any work. But when you dig into Kobe's story, the Mamba mentality, this man's worked, right? His whole thing was about work. It was about sacrifice. You know, it's about so much more than just taking a course and getting to it. And that's why I say, you know, we don't want to shortchange the vision. Again, Kobe had a vision. Jordan had a vision. LeBron has a vision. Denzel Washington had a vision, right? Biggie Smalls had a vision. Yes, they had people come along the way and help them along with their vision to get where they wanted to go and be who they wanted to be and become masters of their craft. But they had a vision. Oftentimes, we don't want to spend time nurturing our vision, right? Because vision doesn't always come right away. It takes time, right? It doesn't always come at the snap of a finger. It takes time. Sometimes you have to try some things. You have to fail at some things. But again, I get questions like these all the time. Should I take this course? Should I get into this investment, whether it be Dogecoin or the latest social media guru's new course, right? This isn't about any one particular person. This is about a mindset. This is about a mindset that feels that you can get on top without working. This is about a mindset that thinks that you can be lazy and not do the work. There's nothing under the sun you can do without work. I mean, even in the Bible, right? I'm not trying to get religious. They said God worked 6 days and then rested on the 7th, but he worked. And then, yeah, he rested or she rested. But where's the work? So this is what I'll say, right? If you're thinking about buying a course, if you're thinking about an investment, do yourself a favor. Think about, hey, what have I sacrificed? What have I worked for to build my vision? Where do I want to go? Or am I being sold somebody else's vision to separate my money with my wallet or pocketbook? I want you to think about how many hours it takes for you to work to get that entry fee of $1,999. Or for the mere price of $19.99, you too can become a rock star. You too can become an overnight millionaire. You too can be the man or the woman of your dreams, right? So I want you to think about that. And here's a couple of ground rules, right? How long will it take for you to pay for this thing? How many hours do you have to work? How much money do you have in your savings? All right. So point one, how long will it take for you to pay for this thing? By the way, this can be applied to any financial transaction that you go through. But in particular, I'm talking about these advertisements for all things get rich quick, whether it's a course, whether it's an investment, whether it be stock, whether it be crypto, whether it be a business investment, whatever it is. How long will it take how many hours will it take for you to work? How many hours? Now, I told you all a couple of weeks ago that there's a car that I want to get, and I had my children go through and work through with me how many hours I would have to work in order to pay for this car. And we did it at minimum wage, right? And I think it was like something like 2,500 hours or something like that. And they were even able to talk about and say, Dag, that's a lot of work for this. Well, what's the rate of return for this? What's the likelihood that this is going to work? You don't know. But a lot of people are willing to do this, right? So instead of doing this thing that people are talking about, maybe go buy a book and read about somebody else who is where you want to go. Whether you want to be a fashion designer, whether you want to own a hot dog cart, whether you want to sell water and fried chicken on a corner at the gas station. I don't care where it is. There's usually information out and about that you can find on any venture or any person out there before you go off and spend all your savings chasing after something. Sadly, again, we've been programmed. We get programmed, y'all. Reason I call myself a rebel, the finance rebel, is one, because I'll sit back, I'll analyze things. I've been around for a long time, but I don't just go with every old thing. And guess what? Anybody with vision doesn't go with any old thing either. They have criteria. They got standards. There's a protocol for things. You too should have that as well. And I mean, again, all of these folks that are getting rich or portraying like they're rich, their job is not to necessarily bring you value. And I don't want to confuse this, right? There are a lot of courses out there that are great value and that have helped a lot of people. But if you cannot afford said course, you should not be one of those purchasers, consumers, customers. You should not, because you can't afford it. And you haven't done the other work, the work of your vision. Because again, people just do stuff because, oh, it sounds fun, it sounds cool, but it's not your vision. It's not your gift. It's not your ministry. It's not your calling. That's the stuff you should be working on. That's the real work. Finding out what your purpose is. I'm not going to say passion, right? Because passion is fleeting. You might have a passion for food, but you don't want to cook food. So you just want to eat the food. And that's cool too. You can be a food critic. You can write food reviews. That's cool. Your passion might be cars, but you don't want to work on the cars. You just want to drive them. Okay. Maybe you become an Uber driver or start a limousine service. But don't always look to go after the whole glitz and glamour. Figure out what your purpose is. Figure out what your calling is. Figure out what your ministry is. Invest in that. That's going to pay you the greatest dividend of anything. All right. So again, invest in that. Think about how many hours you have to work to pay for this thing. Do you have savings? And will you wipe out all your savings to do this? If the answer to the second one is yes, you have to wipe out all your savings, then it should be an automatic no. It should be an automatic no. Ask yourself, again, going back to the first one, how many hours do you have to work? Are you cool with working those many hours and getting nothing back in return? Because everything you do, there is a risk involved. I don't care if anybody says it's a money back guarantee. I don't care if they say you're guaranteed to get your money back or to make 1,000%. I don't care if Tamika and Ronnie and them down the street made $500 off of this and all they had to put up was $5. You need to know, is it right for you? Following after everybody else will never lead you to the conclusion if it's right for you. You got to do that internal work, right? You gotta really, and again, I don't want to get woo-woo on y'all. I feel like I've been getting woo-woo on y'all a lot, right? But sometimes we got to turn off everything. All the TVs, all the phones, no radio, even turn off the lights. Just get quiet, get real still. Figure out what you like. Figure out what is something that you be willing to do every day of the rest of your life. Figure out something that really pisses you off and really angers you every day of your life. And then figure out ways to work on that. Some will be paid, some will be unpaid. There is a great Bible verse that has many interpretations, but I was reminded of it the other day when we were doing the Black Wealth Project. But a gentleman came in and said, your gifts will make room for you. So if y'all ever, I mean, we are really in a celebrity culture as a society, but nobody really drills down on anything. If we look at Michael Jackson, his gifts made room for him. He came from a very talented family. He shined brighter than the rest. Guess what? He worked his ass off, though. Just because your gifts will make room doesn't mean you don't have to work for that room either. You still got to do the work. So again, Spend time with you instead of putting your money into somebody else's pocket. And again, I don't want this to be, I'm not trying to shame anybody. I'm not trying to slander anybody or besmirch anybody. I'm just saying that there's a lot of people out here that don't deserve your cash. You, however, need to know that up front. You need to be able to discern that. And ultimately, if the goal is to really create wealth, you have to be the one to do that. So what skills do you have? What talents do you have? How are you nurturing those talents and those skills? So before you go and spend that money with those folks, make sure you spend time on your vision and don't shortchange your vision. All right, folks, I'm off my soapbox. All right, so who's ready? Who has questions? Again, I'm Kamari Ellis. This is the Wealthy Wednesday segment of the Finance Rebel Show. We are here on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesday at 8 p.m., Saturday at noon. All right, Wednesdays are for Q&A. Saturdays are usually a story or some kind of lesson that I like to do every week that I feel that the audience can get value from. So if you get value from me and my platform, please share me out, because, my ministry and my calling, as people have said to me, is to try to help more people have a better financial understanding and elevate financial IQ so they can make better financial decisions throughout their life. So we talk about all things money, taxes, stocks, insurance, real estate, business. It doesn't matter. If it's about money, we can talk about it. I'm a lover of business. I love everything business. From the corner guy, the guy on the corner, y'all hear me say this a lot, the guy on the corner selling waters to in apples with a Steve Jobs or Larry Ellison or Warren Buffett. So I love it all. All of it to me is art plus science. So let's have a good time. Let's go ahead and throw our comments in the chat. I see we got some commentary there. I apologize if I went on a little bit too long in my rant, but listen, it was on my heart, so I felt like I had to say it. And I don't feel enough of us are saying it. I feel that more of us are just kind of going along to get along and saying, hey, if that's how you get money, I ain't mad. But you know what? I think more of us have to speak out on the damage that gets done to a lot of people. So, oh man, somebody gave me a $2 chat. JT, I'm gonna have to start refunding you money, man. I appreciate you though, sir. I appreciate you. So JT came through with another super chat. Appreciate you. All right, saying what's up to Jose. What's up, Jose? I don't know. Did y'all get a chance to catch me and Jose hanging out talking about black stocks? All right, doing mine. How are you? By the way, I came on a little late today because I had family obligations. Today is my baby girl's 16th birthday. So if anybody is mad about that, go play in traffic. Rush hour traffic, because I don't care. But she had a good birthday, and she said, hi, Kim, how are you? Don Johnson, what's up, brother? How are you? Elena, how are you? Yes, study to show thyself approved. Facts. I'm not sure what this is. What is that? Is that an advertisement? Microwave results when you should be on crockpot. Yes, or at least in the oven, right? One in the oven. Hey, Rochelle, how you doing? They mastered the craft. Mastery is at least 10,000 hours. I mean, that's debatable, but the time thing, because some people learn faster, some people develop faster, not to nitpick. But you got to spend some considerable amount of time beating on your craft, as Will Smith would say. Yes, Don, thank you. Like and share, everybody. Like and share. I'm fighting the algorithms, y'all. So they don't want us to be great. All right, doing my set exactly. All right, Walter says, I really enjoy your videos, really down to earth thinking. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do me a favor, if you like them, share them, and like the show. Like the comments. Or like the video, rather. You can get knowledge just by having a library card, and that's free. Yes. Elena, come through and listen. I want to talk about Elena real quick. Elena is my CMOS plug, right? So I jokingly call her my sea moss bug, but she really is. I buy sea moss from her. She makes sea moss soap and sea moss gels. But I'm certain she had to spend a certain amount of time mastering that craft. And now she's able to do her thing. And I believe she has a loyal customer base, last time I checked. So, all right, doing my says ask questions to people who are doing something similar to what you're doing and yes, studying. Yes. All right, thank you, JT. I appreciate the super chat. Anybody else wants to throw in a super chat? Thank you. I will thank you up front. All right. If you don't know what your purpose is, 2021 is the time to find out. Say that again. If you don't know what your purpose is, 2021 is the time to find out. Facts. I will, JT. She's pretty happy. All right. Helena says, get your sea moss hair. All right. What's up, my IG people? I'll get to y'all in 1 second. Helena, we got to get a shortened URL link for you. Like seamossqueen.com. Yes, we took 2 years to get our little sea moss base. Yeah, it takes time. But anything worth having is worth waiting for and worth working for. All right. So let me see. I think some people are here, some people left. IG gets a little flaky sometimes. J Nice World, how are you? Coach 6, how are you? Andre the Agent, how are you? 76 Philly Girl, how are you? Justice Junkie, how are you? Chef Rob, what's up, Chef? Big Rick, how are you? And Damn Shane, how are you? Brother Wayne 215, how are you? Faye no last name, how are you? I like that. Brother Wayne 215 says, I'm lost how folks are saying get business credit, but don't even have revenue to pay. Listen, Brother Wayne, I can't tell you how many people get mad at me when I say cash is king. Right? Everybody wants to talk about credit. Credit's cool. Credit's important. But if you don't have any cash or cash flow to pay back the credit, you're going to jack yourself up. You are going to hurt yourself financially. But nobody talks about that part. Why? Because it's not sexy. So nobody wants to talk about that. And so again, everybody's selling, but nobody's really giving real value. But again, you have to be the ultimate steward, right? I've told y'all before, stewardship is one of my favorite words. You have to be the ultimate steward of yourself, of your money, of your purpose, of your time. Can't just give it away to everybody, right? So I started laughing on Brother Wayne's comments, so let me finish getting it out. I'm lost how folks are saying get business credit, but don't even have revenue, money, sales, income to pay it back. Cart before the horse. Yeah, a lot of times they put the cart before the horse, but I get called a hater all the time. Dog culture. What's up, Mike? How you doing? Lady Leo, Kate Landers. Ooh, I can get into the right conversation. Okay. I came into the right conversation. Yes. Are you thinking about buying a new high-priced ticket item from one of these social media gurus? Leo lady. Yep. Gift calling a purpose. Know yours. It's important, y'all. It's important. Lionel 2x2 or 2x2. How are y'all? So what's up to everybody today? If y'all have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat or the little question mark box or blip on IG. So let's get at it, folks. I'm not going to stay on here all long, super long, because I got work to do. All right, there we go. JT Coin says I need some CMOS. So look at that. People making connections. So Helena, holla at JT. JT also has an IG page called JT Coins as well. So you can send JT a direct message. That's sales, right? Can't have a business without sales, folks. Can't have a business without marketing. Yep. And yet, right, exactly. Everybody's selling. And listen, there's nothing wrong with selling. right? Here's the thing. I think the best salesmen in the world are the salesmen that know exactly what you need and are willing to tell you to go somewhere else to get it because they're not the right match for you. I've been through a lot of sales training over the years, and nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that at all, right? The best salespeople will make sure you get what you need. And guess what? By maybe sending you to someone else that might can do a better job or fit your need better, you build a loyal customer base. You build a loyal customer base. Do you buy crypto Bitcoin? I buy from time to time through Cash App. All my crypto people say don't do that because you don't have the keys. If you don't have the keys, you don't have the crypto. I mean, crypto's cool. I don't have a problem with crypto, but I'm not on the crypto bandwagon like everybody else. I think everybody knows that right now. So much so people call me a hater. Crypto's not going anywhere. Blockchain's not going anywhere. I do feel that government intervention will be coming. And I don't think crypto is big enough to dethrone the U.S. government and Fed Reserve. I don't think crypto is big enough to dethrone China. But, that's a whole other conversation. I think we need to not worry about crypto so much and Bitcoin so much and stick to the basics. Now, if you are beyond the basics, that question is, or that statement is not for you. However, your basics, foundation, cash, savings, what you got? You got 3 months, you got 6 months. That should be your priority. Doesn't mean that you can't, dollar cost average into some crypto, $25 a pay or $25 a week, whatever you got. It just shouldn't be your sole focus in trying to dump all of your money, all your savings, all your life's work into it. That's all. Same thing goes for a stock, right? And y'all know I profess my love for the markets, right? Because it's the highest level of business, right? But it's the same thing. The principles are the principles. They are the same. Cash is king. Cash is king because cash will always be able to provide you the greatest level of opportunity, even more so than credit. And yes, credit is good, but at some point you're going to have to pay that credit back. You do it. What's up, John? How are you? So Brother Wayne says, true salesmen understand it's a relationship over sale. Yes, they do. They do. Georgia, other lawyer. What's up, bro? How you been? So, you just have to keep that in mind, y'all. So please avoid all these social media gurus who don't have real experience. There are some quote unquote social media gurus who have experience, they have track record and everything, but you got to be able to discern it too. So, all right. Jose said Bitcoin ain't never going to beat entire economies. It'll add to them. Yeah. And listen, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the cryptos really, really make sense for real fragile economies. Make a whole lot of sense. But everybody here that's listening to my voice or watching my brown eyeballs, we live in the U.S. or some developed nation. So a lot of times that's not even for us. Can you explain the marriage penalty? I read a lot on it and got sad or confused. So I see people ask or talk about the marriage penalty in a couple of different ways. I want to know exactly which way you're talking about. So if you are married and you are filing joint on your tax returns, that's a bit of a penalty because your standard deduction usually gets cut in half. Standard deduction for a married couple is $24,800 if you are less than 65. It goes up over 65. Don't ask me what the number is though. All right, you're a little confused. No, typically, so all right, again, so married filing jointly will cut your standard deduction It will cut some other things, like you're not able to put as much money into an IRA, Roth IRA in many instances. So it can kind of hurt you. However, there are some good, real reasons why you might want to do married filing jointly, right? All right. So you do it says marriage penalty takes the tax rate of the highest earner and applies to both, right? Well, here's the thing: when you are married filing jointly, your money is combined. So it's not about the highest earner, it's about your combined income. So if you make $50,000 combined, that's the tax rate you'll be. If you make $250,000 combined, that's what your tax rate will be. Now, you could have somebody at the $50,000 level that makes, spouse might make 1,000 and the other spouse makes 49,000. You could be at the $250,000 level. One spouse makes $1,000, one other spouse makes 249,000, still 250, and that's the marriage. That's the tax rate you'll get. So it just really depends on how you go about it, how are you looking at it. It's talked about in a couple of different ways. Typically, though, it's better to file. It's better to file jointly. Typically, there are exceptions though. All right, Elena suggests best plans for investing in your children's future. It depends. For a lot of my parents, they should be getting life insurance. Some of us aren't going to make it home tonight and are going to lose the race with the train or with the bus, and we'll be called home. We'll transition to the other side. And at that point, all income is lost or income is cut drastically. So I would say have as much life insurance as possible to make sure that if, God forbid, something does happen that is tragic to the parents of children, that their children don't have to suffer financially, because they're going to suffer emotionally. They're going to suffer psychologically. I mean, those things may bleed over to physical suffering as well, right? But it's really rough when you got to go through all that suffering and you got to go to work and you can't take care of your child, your loved one. You can't be there for them. You can't be there to mourn with them. So a lot of that's important. So that's one thing. Again, I know everybody wants to talk about the investments, but what about life insurance? Right? What about disability insurance? What about looking at wills? Because if you are no longer here with your children, who's going to take care of them? Who's going to dictate that? Who gets custody? Is that outlined or is it assumed? If it's assumed, you are in the danger zone. Your children are in the danger zone. So, it really depends. Really depends. I like IRAs. I like Roths for those that are children, young children that are working. That could do some things. You can put that money aside and they can grow it. They can grow it. Can you imagine if you just put, I don't know, that's little money. If you put $500 aside for your child every year, starting at like the age of 5, going forward. Oh man, Elijah, thank you, sir. Thank you. That's my homeboy Elijah right there. Financial Anatomy. Everybody go follow him, Financial Anatomy. So, going back to Helena's question, it's deeper than just the money, y'all. Yeah, I know sometimes I might confuse y'all because I let y'all know it's deeper than the money, but it's deeper than the money, y'all. What do we want the money for? Money really doesn't do anything. And again, I'm not going to get woo-woo on y'all and be like, money isn't real and money doesn't matter. It's real, but you want it to buy something usually. You don't want the money just for the sake of the money. You want the money to buy something, whether it be clothes, housing, shelter, jewelry, ammunition. Everybody's buying ammunition these days. You can't even find it anywhere. But it really depends. really depends. And you need to figure out, again, what you're calling, what's your purpose, because that will really help to define where your money is or where your money should go and figure out where your money should be directed. T and Coco, how are you? Davida Anderson, how are you? Or Davida Anderson, how are you? Correct me if I said that wrong. All right. So trust versus wills, which one do you suggest? They are two different things. They both can be used interchangeably. You definitely need a will. You don't always need a trust, but you definitely need a will. I'm not an attorney. I might play one sometimes here on social media. I'm just joking. I don't have a JD. I have not passed the bar, so I can't give out legal advice. I can give you my opinion. I can give you what I've seen over time. Everybody's talking about trust these days because they saw somebody on tax Twitter say everybody should get a trust. Well, guess what? Trust costs money. Trust costs money to set up. Trust costs money to maintain. Guess what? You have to pay a guy like me to do your trust tax return. And trust tax rates are through the roof. They are not low. They are not cheap at all. At all. Now, I'm not sure if I answered your question. I hope I did. But, again, it's everything. I was on a call. Earlier today. I did a webinar with some other financial pros. My homegirl, Courtney, was there with me. Well, we did it for Cisco. But there was a lot of other financial people on there. Some famous, some not. But there's something the guy said, and I kind of said it too. He said, personal finance is personal. Meaning personal finance is personal. It's a personal thing. Y'all know I always say there's no cookie cutter solutions. Everybody's situation should be custom made for their situation. Same thing. Personal finance is personal. It should reflect what your personal needs, wants, and aspirations are. So, Evans IP law. You're a lawyer. You know how they tax differently. There's different tax law. There's different tax rates for trust. They're taxed differently. How are you? And welcome, by the way. Let me see if I can pull it up. Trust tax rates. I'm trying to go onto the IRS website. And trust law is something, again, I'm not a lawyer, but I have done several trust tax returns. And they are a bitch. Give me 1 second, y'all. While I'm pulling this up, go ahead and put your questions, comments, thoughts, concerns in the chat. The income that's distributed from I see what you're saying. No, that's not what I'm saying, Evans IP law. Not the value of the trust, but the income that's dispersed gets taxed heavy. Or the income that's generated and the trust gets taxed heavy. Because income gets taxed regardless. So yeah, and 9 times out of 10, right? If let's say you got $1 million in the trust, just having money in the bank alone is going to generate income. And I want to say it's $600. Anything over $600, you have to start reporting. Yes. Yeah, I'm not trying to be like the rest of those social media gurus who like to spew out bad information. So I appreciate you checking on me. Because listen, I can get things wrong too now. I can get things wrong too. And I'll be the first one to apologize. All right, so I have an estimated tax worksheet for trust right here. So I'll show this. I didn't want to get overly technical and pull up an actual trust tax return, which is 941. I want to say. Oh, you're learning to set up trust now? All right. You're doing it for yourself, for a client. I mean, I guess you're an IP attorney. I'm guessing there are situations where probably owning IP, patents, trademarks would probably do well being in a trust, especially from an estate situation. Again, I ain't a lawyer. I have thought about going to law school, but I can't find anybody to pay the bill for me. And I don't want no more student loan debt. Still got student loan debt that I'm paying off. Now that's kind of small. Let me see if I can blow that up there. Ah, got you. Makes sense. All right, so goes from 10%, 24%, 35%, 37%. Now, we just saw tax rates on corporations go down, but guess what? Biden thinks they should go up, and they probably will go up. Guess what else will go up? Now, that's just speculation now, being totally honest. But more than likely, we're going to see some increased tax increases, income tax increases, estate tax increases. So, yeah, okay. Where are you broadcasting? So I'm broadcasting on Instagram, I'm broadcasting on YouTube, and I'm broadcasting on Facebook as well. We do this every Wednesday, Wealthy Wednesdays. My regular scheduled broadcast time is 8 p.m. We got a little bit late today, as I told you, on my daughter's birthday. Daughter's 16th birthday is today. All right, so like I said, if you have a trust and your trust has income, you got to pay tax on it, y'all. So again, everybody's kind of throwing it around lightly. Again, I don't have a problem with the trust, but it ain't for everybody. Just like everybody shouldn't have a driver's license, or everybody shouldn't have a gun license. It should only be for those who are qualified. All right. So any other questions we might have? Like I said, I'm not staying on all night with y'all. It's tax season, and people still trying to get their taxes done. Have mercy on y'all, tax preparers, y'all. My homegirl, Adina, y'all might have seen her in my comments sometimes. She's the home biz tax lady. Shout out to her. She did a video the other day. I actually should pull it up and play it. She did a video the other day, basically just saying that everybody's complaining about tax preparers or tax pros, but nobody's really factoring in that tax season got pushed back. There's been massive tax changes that's been going on. Everybody is clamoring to get the PPP or the EIDL loans, and it's been crazy. This has been a crazy one tonight. Just got your returns tonight. All right, good. So you'll beat the deadline. You will beat the deadline. So, have mercy on y'all tax pros, your accountants, your tax preparers. What other questions y'all have? Or are y'all just that blown away by my my soapbox commentary tonight? All right, so let's see. What else do we have here? How much does your net worth have to be when considering life insurance? Or umbrella life insurance? That's a good question. I don't know that your net worth is necessarily, I'm sure it's a factor in it. I don't offer umbrella. I've never sold it. I do recommend it to some of my clients though, when they have things to lose. So if you have anything to lose that you want to protect, you might want to consider it, especially if you have a business or if you have rental property. Trust have taxes. Went to a workshop on trust and wills yesterday, and they didn't mention taxes. Well, yes. Listen, I give it to y'all raw, uncut, and unfiltered. I don't know any other way to do it. And I'm not saying this just because, technical difficulty there. I'm not saying that just because I'm on this mic. All right, so Evans IP Law asks interesting questions. She says, how do CPAs stay updated on laws enrolls. All right. They have all kinds of things. I'm not a CPA. I'm an EA. I'm an enrolled agent. I am not a CPA. I probably have the hours to do it and the education level to do it. Never wanted to do it though. Never wanted to do it though. Got messed up my camera now. But some of them that I'm in groups with, we share information. I have CPAs that share information with me. I share information with CPAs. I'm not into there's kind of a war, this unspoken war that EAs, enrolled agents, and CPAs kind of have. I don't really partake in that. If you want to look and see what the EA standing is or the enrolled agent standing is the IRS kind of they kind of look at us enrolled agents as the highest professionals in terms of tax authorities, then CPAs and attorneys. Now, that's no diss to any lawyers or any CPAs, right? That's just how the IRS says it. I know a lot of fine CPAs. I know a lot of fine attorneys. And I know a lot of fine people who don't have any designation or any credentials that do great work. And they're very ethical people. So I would never sit here and drag somebody. My thing is always the integrity. My thing is the standard of work. We all can make mistakes, right? Because we're all human beings. What's required to be an EA? You can be an EA. Actually, you're an attorney, so you actually qualify for Circular 230. But you have to take some tests. You have to take some tests. You have to qualify for some background, pass the background checks, and basically stay out of trouble. Mrs. Sambi, if I'm saying it wrong, correct me. I'm sorry. Welcome. Okay, I guess that's why they kept encouraging everyone to come into the office with specific questions. Yeah, a lot of people. So here's the deal. A lot of folks, a lot of us professionals, right? Because I've been a financial advisor, been licensed the whole nine, worked on Wall Street. We'll get in trouble if we give any kind of investment or quote unquote tax recommendation. Even lawyers. That's why you see lawyers, they don't give direct specific recommendations. It always has to come in. Why? Because people ask like really, really broad questions. Like I'm gonna pick on you, Helena, because I know you know my heart, right? She says, well, what's the best investment? I don't know. Depends on your situation with you and your children. That's why I answered it broadly. I answered the question broadly, right? But I've dealt with enough compliance has smacked me around and kicked me in my butt enough to kind of, how to answer questions. I'm not governed by FINRA compliance anymore, but I still kind of operate that way because it's been beaten to my head. And ultimately, it's still the best thing to do for the public, right? Because sadly, the public will sue me, right? That's why I always say this show is for entertainment and educational purposes only, right? When I get on here and I talk about stocks, again, I let you know this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You should always seek the counsel of your investment and or tax advisor before making any investment decisions, right? So, that's why they don't want to answer specific questions in an open public setting. Also, it could be viewed as advertisement as well. And so it can get a little tricky at times. All right, Jose said, I tried to set up a trust and the fee was about $4,000 for the consult to begin the process. So I will plan on doing that when I own property. Okay. I don't even know if you're going to need it then. It really depends. Like trusts are a form of asset protection. Are you trying to hide it? Not hide it. Hide is the wrong word. Are you trying to protect it from someone getting sued? Is trust the right vehicle? Should it go in an LLC? Should it go in a corporation? There's so many factors, right? And I'm not trying to change your decision. It just depends. It just depends. All right. So let me go on here. Mira Barra, I think I'm saying it right. I'm not sure. Are employers getting tax benefits for requiring COVID vaccinations? That's actually good questions. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that one. I haven't seen it yet. Um, there might be something if they gave employees some kind of benefit, but I haven't seen it yet. Evan IP Law says I should write a book. I have plans to write a couple books. I have a book on Black wealth, like 80 to 90% complete. I ain't had the time. I haven't had the time. I need to make the time though. I need to make the time. What should I write my book on, Evans IP Law? My man Larry. Larry's my tax brother. Now it's funny, I've never met Larry in person, but I swear to God, he be saying some of the stuff that's in my head. So, and I know it's vice versa. And so we be laughing hard at stuff. Because we both kind of have this quirky tax mind about things. Yeah, you know my heart. You know, all right. Maybe that was kind of funny. Maybe that was going a little bit too deep to say you know my heart, but you know I'm not trying to rip anybody off, right? I'm here all the time. I'm here for free, and you know I'm just really here to try to help. Shield it. Yep. All right, in the workshop yesterday, they said never out your assets in your never put your assets in your children's names. What are your thoughts on that? So there's a reason for that. Again, I am not a lawyer. Maybe I need to write my book so I can pay for my law school. I don't know. But children are usually minors, right? Usually that's the context in which they're talking about. Minors are not supposed to enter into contracts, usually. So that's part of the reason why they're not supposed to do it. There's other reasons too. There's a lot of, asset protection reasons, your children getting sued, marrying people, all kinds of stuff. But why do y'all want to know about trust? How much bread y'all got? How much money y'all trying to save? Right? How much money are y'all trying to protect? Is the juice really worth the squeeze? That's the question you should always be asking about everything. Going back to tonight's rant about paying exorbitant money to some of these social media gurus for their courses or their memberships, where a lot of this stuff, as Selena said, you can go to the library and read it. And again, I'm a professional, right? Yes, you need to pay me for my knowledge, for my craft, for my work. Yes. However, doing research goes a long way. Goes a long way. Right. Nor do I play one on TV or the internet. That is correct. That is correct. All right. Thanks for the phone. You're welcome. Let's talk more, Evans. Transcribe these and publish. I do have a lot of these I could transcribe. Chloe Winters, how are you? Oh, that's Body Austin. What's up, on girl? How are you? Welcome. All right, so who has more questions? Who has more questions? Anybody? Going once? Going twice? All right, so before we go, so nobody has questions. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about what I want to talk about then. All right, we got some earnings reports come out today. Apple made a whole bunch of money, or reported that they made a whole bunch of money. All right, very interesting. Warren Buffett has said Apple is probably the most finest or best run company on the planet. Yeah, you do it. You're right, John. Except those books on social media are outdated the moment they're printed. Yeah. But listen, I would like to have a book and be an author one day and get some residual income, some royalties, right? You do have to pay tax on royalties. So I'll take that. I wouldn't mind that at all. Who's going to buy it, though? Would y'all buy it? Or would y'all say, yeah, I'll buy it, and then don't buy it, right? Leaving me high and dry. All right, so Apple Apple 5G iPhone sales, $89.6 million. Again, $89.6 million. Jeez. Apple just knocks it out the box. Bella Masson, Patricia, how are you? All right, so Apple had 89.6 billion, profits of 23.6 billion. So revenues are the money that they made from everything that they sold. iPhones, MacBooks, all the services. Oops. Didn't want that video to interrupt me. My apologies. Right, so that's revenue, all the money that came in, that they sold. Then the profits are everything after they paid all their expenses, after they paid for their marketing costs, their employees, their insurance, right? Their taxes, their professionals, right? Everybody wants to ball like the big boys and the big companies, but you got to realize to do that, you got to pay the money, right? So, Apple is still knocking it out of the park. Jeez. So I haven't had a chance to get super deep into Apple earnings reports, but that's always a good thing. I think I own like $2 worth of Apple. Remember, you don't need a whole lot of money to start investing, folks. You need $1. That's it. $1. All right, Ford posts stronger earnings, but warns chip shortage will get worse before it gets better. So that's going to be interesting because there is a chip shortage around the globe right now. And a lot of the car manufacturers, I really hate why everybody loves to do autoplay, but that's just my little pet peeve. All right, so again, Ford had great results. Now, y'all know I like to talk about my Ford because a lot of people talk shit about me about owning Ford. But I've showed y'all the results. It proves that I was right. And listen, let's not be confused. You can be right or you can make money in investing. Sometimes the two are not in alignment. They are not in alignment. All right, so the chip shortage will likely reduce Ford's 2021 production of about 1.1 million vehicles and cut its profits by about 2.5 billion. The upper end of the range, says it previously gave for the hit earnings. The shortage will trim about 10% of its planned production. So Ford will probably have some tough times with this chip shortage, but I think they'll be able to make their way through. All right, Jose said if I publish a book, he's copying. All right, my man. All right, Dora Ma said she would buy one too. All right. I'm gonna hold y'all to that. Nazi Dreads 5150. How are you? All right, you do it. John said he'd be the first one to lie to buy my book. All right, y'all making me feel good today. JT gave me some super chat money. All right, now I can go buy my daughter some more birthday gifts. And all y'all said y'all gonna buy my book. But I gotta find, like another 3 more people to buy it to make it worth my time to actually write it. All right, so there's still a lot of interesting things going on in the world of money. There's always something interesting going on. Fed Reserve leaves rates near zero. Now, what's interesting about that is you're starting to see all the pundits, all the bobbleheads that are on TV talk about inflation. Well, yes, the Fed has been pumping money into the economy like crazy. But I want y'all to go back down memory lane just a little bit, to like around 2007 when George Bush was still in office, to 2008, 2009 when Barack Obama came in office. There was a thing called cash for clunkers. There was a thing called the Great Recession. There was a thing called the housing crisis. And guess what? The government pumped money into the economy then. And guess what the bobblehead said? That inflation was going to come. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that inflation's never going to come. But what's really, really hard to have inflation is when you don't have any earnings growth. And we haven't had any earnings growth in quite some time, right? Everything else, everything else is growing much faster in price than earnings. So yeah, there's a lot of free money out there circulating, right? We're seeing it with the stimulus or with the STEMI and the PPP and the EIDL, but that's only going to last but for so long. That's only going to last but for so long until people can actually make money to put in their pocket that they make on their jobs or in their business. It's going to be really hard for them to do that. It's going to be really hard for them to do that. So, again, I'm not going to say inflation isn't going to be an issue, but I think once inflation rears its ugly head, we will see interest rates rise. That's the tool that the Fed Reserve uses to control interest or control inflation. One of the tools. They do some other things too. The other things I always find really interesting is when these bobbleheads start to talk about inflation, is that people act like the Fed can't change banking regulations. Kind of like they are now. Why do you think the Fed is telling banks that they can't issue higher dividends? Because they don't want a whole lot of money going back to investors in cash, which will add more investments. Also, because they want the banks to have solid financial reserves so they can withstand any kind of economic or financial storm. Right? So there are still things that can be done. There's still things that can be done. I am Kayana Wilmore. How are you? Welcome. So listen, y'all, what other questions y'all got? I'm not staying too much longer. Y'all got my rant today. Y'all got my questions. We got some super chat money in the building. So we're feeling good. I'm feeling good. What else we got? What else do we have? All right. So I'll go through a couple more things real quick. And then we're going to call it a night. Now, I did see this. I thought it was interesting. I'm trying to figure out why Walmart is going after Kanye. Now, I'm a big Kanye West fan in terms of music and creativity. Kanye West's political commentary sucks, for the record. He has no clue what he talks about. But Kanye West also says he doesn't read. So it's really hard for me to put any stock into somebody that doesn't believe in reading from a political standpoint. So beware of anybody that you follow that doesn't want to read, because they feel that they can learn everything just by having a conversation. And listen, conversations matter. You can learn a lot through a conversation, but there's also something to actually going deeper and getting more information on your own. All right. So Walmart is suing Kanye West. Walmart is coming for Kanye West for releasing a proposed logo design that the retailer says too closely resembles the company's old logo. So is Evan's IP still on? Because this is right down her ballpark, right down our alley, or right in her ballpark, rather. The retail giant filed a notice of opposition on April 21st to the USPTO. All right, USPTO is U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, challenging a logo trademark application that has been submitted by Kanye West's apparel brand, Yeezy. Walmart believes the logo design depicted in the Yeezy application is confusing, similar to Walmart's well-known Spark logo design, according to a letter the company provided to CNN Business. Both logos resemble a sun. Walmart's logo has a thick line that looks like sun rays. Yeezy's proposed logo has lines made up of a set of dots, also resemble sun rays. This is interesting. Me personally, I would think that they're two distinct logos. But I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV, or I try to play one on TV. I'm trying to get on TV. I just want the TV money. But in all seriousness, right? I can see why they might challenge, but I don't see it being the same. I don't see it being the same at all. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think it's similar? Do you think it's the same? I don't. I don't at all. So, all right, folks, we're going to begin to wrap up. Any more questions you may have? Last call. Last call. When will the book be finished? That's the magical question. I see why authors take off like 2 years just to write a book. I don't know, JT. I need to make it happen. I need to make it happen over the summer. I wanted to have it out by Black History Month this year. And it's only, it's like, again, like I said, it's like 80% done. I just haven't finished it out. So, all right, you piqued my interest in Ford. Going to look at a good entry, then pick up some shares. This is for entertainment and investment purposes only. My commentary about Ford is not a recommendation to buy or sell. Again, my commentary about Ford, it is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All right. Talk to your investment or tax advisor. Past performance is not an indicator of future results. So y'all keep that in mind when y'all thinking about them investments. All right. But yeah, Jose, let me know what you decide. Let me know what you decide. You think so? All right. So Jose said he feels the logo is very similar. Walmart may win this challenge. Kanye basically stole their look and tweeted. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I know you know, but everybody else may not know. So again, this is going live on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram. I don't know how many people will see this. Do me a favor, y'all. If y'all want more people to see this, like the video, right? Like it on YouTube, like it on Facebook, share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, and help me reach more people. But I appreciate you all here. I'm always humbled by having you here. I love the conversations we are able to have. Last week, Jose joined me for my Wealthy Conversations, which we do at noon, and we talked about Black-owned company, Black publicly traded stock companies. Right. I want to have more of y'all come on and just have conversations, right? Because again, I want my work to be more about the community. It's not really about me being up here just talking just for the sake of talking. It's really to communicate, have a dialogue, and build a relationship, a real community, right? All right, rebels. So all you rebels, go ahead and do y'all work, save y'all money, build y'all financial freedom platforms or financial freedom foundations. And I will see you all next time. Have a great, great night, everybody. So long.